Hi, I'm Rabbi Kayla Labelle, Director of Hadar's Project Zug. Thank you for joining me for this course on Kvod HaMet, exploring the values, beliefs, and practices of honoring the deceased. I stumbled into and very quickly fell in love with this area of Jewish practice when I was serving as a congregational rabbi in Los Angeles. Some members of my community asked me if I would help them start an egalitarian Chaver Kadisha, a burial society, to serve our congregation in West LA. Having only a basic understanding of the customs, I agreed and went on to spend hundreds of hours immersed in intensive community organizing and deep learning from primary texts and leading experts in this sacred work. Launching that Chaver Kadisha became one of the most transformative experiences of my life, shaping me both as a Jew and as a person. Caring for the deceased from the moment of death to the time of burial is an ancient, intimate act of chesed, of loving kindness. It is an act that affirms the innate dignity of the deceased individual and brings comfort to the living who mourn them. And yet, most Jews, even rabbis, know very little about it. This is partly because Chaver Kadisha work is done privately by volunteers who receive no recognition and no pay, a topic we'll explore in this course. It's also because many people prefer, understandably, to avoid thinking about death altogether. But what I've learned from this work is that despite what you may think, engaging with death through Jewish tradition is not morbid or even depressing. It's actually incredibly life-affirming. My goal with this course is to demystify Kvod HaMet, to bring these sacred and beautiful practices out of obscurity, and to show how confronting our mortality through the lens of Jewish wisdom can actually enrich our lives. Every Yom Kippur, we ritually rehearse our own death to reorient ourselves toward a life of meaning. We wear white, similar to the plain shrouds Jews are buried in. Some are even buried in the kittel they wear on Yom Kippur and festivals. We set aside bodily pleasures to focus on our souls, and we acknowledge our impermanence. This course offers a similar opportunity. By exploring the texts, theology, and practices of Kvod HaMet, you will discover a tradition that is both profound and life-giving. Across the 10 sessions of texts and discussion questions, I invite you to approach this learning with curiosity and openness. Whether you're new to this topic or you're already engaged in this sacred work, I urge you to bring your whole self to the learning and to allow it to shape you. Wrestling with mortality, pondering the nature of the soul and what happens after death can help us live with greater clarity and purpose. And now we turn to our learning. This first unit lays the foundation for why caring for the deceased is considered the greatest act of loving kindness, of chesed. In session 1, we examine the reticence to engage with death and study texts and firsthand testimonials about what it actually feels like to care for the deceased. Session 2 traces the biblical origins of Jewish care for the deceased and introduces the core values of chesed ve'emet and kavod. Session 3 explores Jewish perspectives on the soul and its relationship with the body, which informs the way we care for our dead and think about what happens to a person after death. Thank you again for joining me in this learning. I hope it inspires you, deepens your connection to Jewish tradition, and perhaps even moves you to take part in this sacred work.